right, it's my second video about the Iron Bowl. Today I want to highlight what Jalen Milroe did versus Auburn, and he had a really good game, honestly. And there were a lot of crazy sloppy plays from the team as a whole, but his play in general really was outstanding, including the MilThrow, as it's being dubbed by so many at the end, and that'll be the last play that I will analyze in this video. But let's hop into everything else before that point. So early in the first quarter, 12 minutes, 43 seconds in the game, it's 3rd and 17. And when I saw this play, I said somebody needs to make a video about that play, or it needs to be in somebody's video. So that somebody is me. So 3rd and 17, the defense is going to obviously play an obvious pass defense because they're trying to stop you from completing the 3rd and long. They know you most likely aren't going to run, although Jalen is a threat to run in a situation like this because his amazing speed. Alabama is in 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 2 wide receivers to the top of the screen, 1 to the bottom of the screen to the left, and Auburn has 5 people on the line of scrimmage. Basically, Alabama's going to run like a deep dig route here, and Jalen Milroe is going to stay in the pocket. Like he really feels the pressure here. He's filling it out because he has Benson running up the field. These are longer developing routes because they have to get like 20 yards up the field basically. And so on the play, as soon as the ball is snapped, Auburn rushes. They have 2 guys on the end. So number 65, Alabama's right tackle, pushes the rushing end up the field, which is that's going to go up. So if Jalen drifts back or he steps back, that's going to be a sack. Jalen knows that the rush is happening that way. He doesn't have anybody rushing from the other side. So what he does is he just kind of stays where he is. He doesn't have to move too much because he knows his offensive tackle is going to push the guy around. He moves forward a little bit to evade any contact from the guy. He could have probably moved up a little bit more, but he stays consistent. He's still looking down the field. He moves back to center himself in the pocket, and that's when Benson is running across the field on the dig route, and he hits him. Bam, first down. Really good play from Jalen Milroe. I like what he did there. Really good confidence and maturity and feeling confident and staying in the pocket. So let's go to the next play. So what's interesting about this play is a lot of people are like, man, why was this so wide open? Was Auburn playing the wrong defense? Where was the cornerback thinking they were in a cover 2 instead of a cover 3? I think they were definitely playing a cover 3, and I'll show you why I believe so and why I think this play got so wide open. Alabama, once again, is in 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, although the tight end this time, of course, is Nyblack, but they have 4 wide, and Nyblack is basically functioning like a wide receiver on this play. Auburn has 4 people on the line of scrimmage, and they got 7 dropping back, or at least, that's what it looked like pre-play. And so on this play, Jermaine Burton at the bottom of the screen is just going to like run right by this cornerback. And you're like, what is going on there? And I think it's because they're playing like some form of like a cover 3 here. I think he's expecting to have some help over the top on this play. And I can tell because he's like playing far off. He's kind of like, okay, I'm looking back to a quarterback, and he's watching. What's interesting is that like a lot of people are like, why was that so open though? Jermaine Burton runs right by him. Well, I'm going to show you the second angle, which is like a further angle, right? The big CV. Look at the top safety. Look at the safety at the top of the field. And it's actually, this might have been, it may even have been, I doubt it was cover 4, but potentially, but I think it was a cover 3. Look at the safety over the top. Like, so it's the guy in the middle of the field near the Auburn logo on the backside of the Auburn logo. When he sees the ball in the air, he starts running, and then look at him. His leg starts getting gimpy. Like he catches his foot and then he stops running, and there's no way he's gonna catch up there. First of all, Alabama just schemed it up really well too because Jermaine Burton ran his route toward the sideline and Jalen Milroe threw it on a rope. It hit him. The safety wasn't gonna make it there to begin with, but the reason why it looks even more open than I think it should have been is because that safety, did not. He did not get over the top as well as he should. He was too far away. He had to cover like the other 2/3 of the field in order to make a play on his ball. So by the time he would have got there regardless, Jermaine Burton would have caught this pass. It may not have been a touchdown, potentially, but it still was going to be complete. And so I think maybe they were trying to bait that throw too. Maybe that safety thought he was faster than he was. Maybe he thought he was Ed Reed, but there's no way he's going to get there, especially if he pulls up. So I think he maybe caught a cramp or hurt his foot trying to run or something happened. But you can see him pull up and he starts hopping on his one leg. That's why the play was even more open than it should have been. But even then, that cornerback, number 4, I don't know what he was thinking. He could have still been thinking it was a cover 2 assignment because he was just playing that way too softly. He let the receiver run right by him without really keeping up at all. It looks like he was just still looking back at Jalen Milroe as if maybe he thought that Burton wasn't going to run a deep route. Maybe he was taking a gamble. But either way, Burton just ran right by him, and Jalen went ahead threw it right over his head. Easy play, touchdown. But that safety, Jalen, and props on Jalen for seeing that open too, because like obviously if you look at the beginning of the play, that safety, and Arbor were trying to confuse the look. I think it was a cover 3, and they were just kind of maybe playing some guys like in different position to present a different look, right? And that safety tried to get back over the top. But Tommy Reese isolated his wide receiver on the bottom of the screen, that side of the offense, to get a streak route going down the field. That safety then has to commit some type of help to those wide receivers on that side. And so when he realized that the play is not going and he's trying to get back over the middle of the field, he doesn't have enough time or speed to make up for that difference. So good play by Alabama there. So now we're going to go to another Jalen Milroe play here. It's at the beginning of the third quarter. The first play of the third quarter, actually, 15 minutes left. In the third, it's one running back. And actually, yeah, it's just 12 personnel. One running back, 2 tight ends. Got Jermaine Burton motioning across the field here. And on this play, you see Amari Niblack. He's the tight end on the left side next to the left tackle. He's kind of down in a 3-point stand. So when the ball is snapped, he runs up the field. He's basically going to run a deep out route. So he's going to get about 15 yards up the field, and he's going to run toward the sideline after he gets there. So it's a play action. Jalen Milroe kind of fakes it. The left tackle here, or I think actually, was he pulling? It wasn't the left tackle. It was the right guard, Roberts. He pulled, but luckily the Jalen Milroe steps up. So I think that's the subtle part of this play that people maybe not have noticed. That Jalen Milroe kind of stepped up here while he let his guy kind of push the defender around him. And so once again, like on that first play, Jalen Milroe feeling that pocket presence. He's feeling the confidence. He's the maturity. He does the subtle movement. He doesn't do a big run. He doesn't try to take an exaggerated step. He just kind of subtly moves up in the pocket because it's wide open. And what he does is that he sees that Amari Niblack is open on this out route. Bam, throws a rope to him. And that Auburn defender, number 10, wasn't far off. It was like a contested throw. Like the coverage he wasn't wide open. I saw somebody erroneously say that Jalen Milroe only throws to wide open people, and it's like, nah, he doesn't. Like he's throwing some really, really good throws right here, some good passes, and this is an example of that. So now let's go to the next play. We got a couple more here. And Jalen Milroe on this 3rd and 20. This is near the end of the game. Fourth quarter, 2 minutes and 54 seconds left. And this is 3rd and 20. Like Alabama had some really unfortunate plays, a lot of mistakes that kind of popped up here and there. And the play before this, there's a lot that happened. But basically, it's now 3rd and 20. And they were trying to knock on the door, getting the red zone here. Jalen Milroe is going to take this snap, right? And Alabama, I think they're trying to make room here going toward this left side. But Jalen Milroe then sees all the guys run to the right. And this play design is actually, I think it set this up, right? If you go back to the beginning, they got Jermaine Burton isolated on that top right side. So he's over there by himself. Maybe that's a go route he's running. You got 3 receivers in a kind of a trip. 2 receivers stacked up, but then you got Niblack, H-back kind of set out far a little bit. So it kind of looks like trips a little bit. They all run routes toward the right side of the field. So now you got Jermaine Burton running straight up the field. You got Rodell Williams running out to the flat, and you got 3 receivers basically running routes toward the middle of the field, toward the right sideline. So that shows you then that all of the skill position players have now went to the right. The left is now completely wide open. So I'm pretty sure Jalen Milroe noticed that immediately because all the Auburn defenders were following that. So Milroe then steps up in the pocket because, one, the pressure got there, by the way. Like the rush got there pretty quickly. So Jalen Milroe didn't have time really to let this play develop anymore. He has to move up because number 9 comes running him down. So he doesn't have the ability to sit now in the pocket and wait for it. So he has to take off. And this is what happens when Jalen Milroe is really decisive and confident. He took off, and look at that speed. Like he just goes. Like the acceleration is there. He gets up the field. He takes off. And what was really cool about this play is even though he took a hard hit, I feel like he gave a harder hit than he took. It was funny to me when he hit number 1. Number 1 kind of fell down kind of awkwardly and just kind of laid down on his side. He was kind of like, man, I took a hit. Like, I wonder if I noticed this in the game, and I was wondering did anybody else notice it? Because, like, number 1 just kind of buckled. His knees buckled, and he went down, and he stayed down. Like no matter how many times I see that, it's just funny to me. I hope he's okay, but he obviously wasn't expecting Jalen Milroe to be able to deliver that type of hit to him, and because Jalen Milroe just lowered his shoulder and he kind of ran into Milroe, and I think that collision really messed him up a little bit. So really good play by Jalen there to notice that left side of the field is clear from all his routes being on that side, and him being decisive and just taking off. And he almost got it. And the next play ended up being, so actually I'll show you the next play. How about we make that part? Even though this isn't a Jalen Milroe highlight per se, it is the conversion that allowed for the Milroe throw, the Milroe miracle, whatever you want to call it, because it's 4th and inches and they have to convert here. They were going to do a QB sneak. Auburn was all bunched up in the line of scrimmage. They changed the play to a halfback pitch, a toss to the outside, and that's just what they do. Like, they toss it, bam, Rodale Williams got it. He got about 2 yards on this play. Without this play, the Milroe throw wouldn't have happened. Alabama still had 3 timeouts, so maybe they could have got a stop on defense against Auburn, maybe, right? And then gotten the ball back. But this really set it up for all the dramatics, right? So with that said, the play you've been waiting for, the Milroe miracle, the MilThrow, it's all here. 43 seconds left in the game. It's the 4th quarter. It's 4th and goal, 4th and 31. You know all the chaos that ensued to get us to this point. Auburn's going to rush 2. They're going to have one guy kind of spy a little bit, sit back and watch. So maybe in rushing 3-ish like players, they're going to drop 8. So what's funny is that Auburn fans are upset that Auburn rushed 2 or 3, right? I'm not. And the reason why is that you have a choice to make. There's pros and cons to what you can do. One, you can decide to pressure the guy and get one-on-one coverage for all the receivers, which is dangerous. Jermaine Burton has beaten plenty of people one-on-one. Isaiah Bond has beaten many people one-on-one. Amari Nyblack is a huge mismatch at how big he is at tight end and his speed. You're asking for trouble. People take that chance. That's a risk that you can take. Auburn tried not to do that. Auburn tried to play basically almost like a prevent. And honestly, when you look at the other angle of this play, like later on, especially they show like the end zone view of it, like the sky cam view of it, like they were back there. They were back there and they had the end zone covered up. And Alabama isolated Isaiah Bond on that left side of the field by himself on purpose. He was back there and he made room, so he was able to like angle his route inside to get the defender to play inside of him. So it wasn't like a straight up zone. Like the defender's like right up on Isaiah Bond. So Isaiah Bond's like 5 to 7 yards inside the end zone, closer toward the pylon when he runs his route up the field. And he kind of moves himself back toward that left side when Jalen Milroe actually throws the ball. And that allows him to make some space between him and the DB in that corner. And Jalen threw it perfectly. Like, this ball travel is 4th and 31, but it's in the back of the end zone. So that's about another 5 to 7 yards. So basically, this is like a 37, almost 40-yard pass, right? This is in the back of the end zone. I said it's basically a 40-yard pass. Look how high it is. Look how much velocity it has. And look at the trajectory of where that ball was going. It was literally headed for the back left pylon. Like, I don't know if you guys know how difficult of a throw that is, or how that's not easy to do. And he just like effortlessly threw it up there. Like, that was the best place for that ball to be. And Isaiah Bond toe tap. That would have been an NFL catch, by the way, 2 feet down. I don't know if you noticed, Isaiah Bond got 2 feet down on this play. And so just like I'm highlighting it, the way this Hail Mary, Nick Saban said they practiced this play, right? So they got 2 guys at the top. They got 3 guys at the bottom. If you notice, like I said, I don't have that view of it right now, but just take my word for it. Alabama had Nyblack and the receiver next to Isaiah Bond. They both ran. So Nyblack ran a deep crossing route. The 2 wide receivers on the far right side at the top of the screen, they ran go routes up the field and kind of angled in once they got to the end zone. The receiver next to Isaiah Bond, because Isaiah Bond was in the slot, so the receiver on the far left side, the ex-receiver in that position, he runs a very, very deep Hail Mary dig route, basically. If you notice from the other view, he gets into the end zone and then he runs laterally across the end zone line. And so what you then see is that Bond runs a streak up the field, right up the middle. There's a deep dig route going underneath him. Nyblack ran a crossing route across that. So all the defenders, except for one, are going to the right side of the field. That leaves basically Isaiah Bond by himself. So Alabama practices this play. Based on how the defense tries to cover the 5 different receivers on the field, Jalen Milroe is going to pick somebody to throw the ball to. Jalen Milroe then picked Isaiah Bond because he had the best one-on-one coverage matchup, and Jalen Milroe threw the ball in the perfect place, the right velocity, really great ball placement. And the defender, which you may not have noticed, his head was turned away from Isaiah Bond as well, or away from Jalen Milroe. He was looking at Bond. So all these things lined up perfectly. Isaiah Bond is in the back of the end zone by himself with space to move toward the pylon. The defender is turned around looking at Isaiah Bond instead of at Jalen Milroe. All the receiver routes have carried the rest of the defenders toward the middle of the end zone, and Jalen Milroe throws the best pass he can throw in that situation. Touchdown Alabama. That's the MilThrow, the Milroe miracle. The nightmare Jordan Hare comes to a close. Amazing play from Alabama. Great play from Milroe. I'm really impressed. No matter what happens for the rest of this season, right? I've always been a fan of Jalen Milroe. I've enjoyed watching him play. And a lot of people were criticizing him earlier in the year. And it's fine to want a player to get better, but I feel like some people were saying a lot of unnecessary things. So it does my heart some good to see how well he's progressed and played throughout this year, and seeing how well it's going to be. Like I said, I really enjoy his play. And I'm glad that he proved a lot of people wrong. I always believed in him, and I'm glad that he proved it right. So let me know what you thought about Jalen Milroe's performance in the Iron Bowl. What do you think coming up against Georgia? What's going to happen? Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.